First of all, thanks for being here. I know the majority of you are probably here because of the Leftist Mafia super chat I put up. I do really enjoy that show, and I watch all of the people's stuff from that show. But because of my own personal schedule, I can't always watch the Leftist Mafia live. Also, I know I can be pretty annoying in chat, I think, if you ever see me in there. My sense of humor isn't for everyone. It's not because I'm particularly edgy or dark. I'm just a dork if you've never seen me in there. I try to rotate whose channel and watch the Leftist Mafia through. Normally, I go through either Ariana's or Rebecca's because they seem to have the least amount of viewers, and I want all of them to be successful. And I have noticed that I'm not the only one who's adopted this strategy within that community. So I do like their community for that, which is why I threw the super chat in there. You guys are just very supportive. I guess I'm technically part of it too, but I don't get to watch it as live as much as everyone else. I just finished recording the latest audio for my next video. Making the video component is actually one of the hardest and longest parts for me, just because I don't have the skill set. I keep learning more each time I make a video, but thus far there's a lot of things I wish I could get a better handle on. For instance, you will notice that sometimes there's a lot of weird tearing and pixelation. I don't know what to do about that. It looks fine until I export it. Until I actually get a solid handle on that, I guess that's just going to be part of my quote-unquote style. I mean, I already enjoy glitchy graphics. I would just prefer to have control over when that glitch appears. And speaking of my content, I do try to pick movies that are less covered simply because it feels too weird to be the 1,000th video on Deadpool and Wolverine or whatever wide release that's currently trending. It's not a hard and fast rule of this channel. I definitely have covered newer releases before, and I understand the business purpose of trying to cash in on what's trending. Not to say that this channel is anywhere near monetization, though I would like to get this channel to that point someday. I mean, simply just to pay for better video editing software, or maybe enough to commission a graphic artist for some of the assets I use on every video. Outside of that, I really have no larger ambitions to reach monetization other than to keep this channel revenue neutral while having a presentation more in line with my personal vision. If this channel does get bigger, I really have no desire to sell you anything. I really just want the AdSense dollars, because it costs nothing out of pocket for the viewer, and for me, that just seems to be the most ethical form of generating revenue from my standpoint, at least. As much as I would like to do this full time, I know that's highly unlikely. I do have a job, so I'm not in a position where you should feel bad for me or anything. I'm not going to starve if you don't like and subscribe. But every video does represent about 20 plus hours of work from writing to uploading. In addition to my normal work hours, that's just a lot of free time that I devote to do this. My overall goal of this channel is obviously bent towards getting people to see films through more of a left-leaning lens. Even when I cover films that have conservative messaging, like that video on A Most Violent Year that I did, I try my best to deconstruct that messaging and explain what is wrong with that kind of thinking, even when it is the solution in the film. It just doesn't feel like there are a lot of YouTubers doing it, at least I don't think. I'm still relatively new to the platform as both a consumer and creator. It just feels like there needs to be actual counter messaging. From some of the things I've seen, there's just a lot of critique of strawmen about wokeness in film or whatever without any actual substance. And speaking of, I know the titles of my videos can dissuade a lot of people. I know I should retire the format, and at some point I will, because it is pretty limiting in terms of movies that I can cover. For instance, how am I going to inject woke into one-syllable title movies like Go or Dread? I can't, and those are movies I would love to talk about. But also because there will be a point when the right wing will move on to a new buzzword that is a catch-all for all their prejudices, and I will likely start using that. Although, given how fast the mask is slipping off the right, there may be no more dog whistles and euphemisms for me to try and co-opt, and I will definitely draw the line at using a naming convention with racial slurs. Anyway, this was just a general update, and a big thank you to all the people who've subscribed so far.